Okay, so with all that's going on right now, people are coming out and telling their stories, and I'm going to tell part of mine. I'm 50 years old, and I am a survivor of continued sexual abuse and rape when I was a child, and again as an adult. The Epstein files, they're blasted everywhere. You can see them anywhere on the internet, pictures, phone calls, emails, but nobody's been arrested, and I fear that nobody will be. And even if they are, that doesn't really mean anything. In my case, um, my legal case, because yes, we tried to prosecute, it involved military personnel and on government property. And basically, my predator, my rapist, got a slap on the wrist. He was asked to leave the military early. No biggie. Still practices medicine. Um, these things aren't political. And I don't care who, I care who was involved, but their political affiliation isn't the point. The point is that it happened. The point is that every person that is mentioned in those files is more than likely involved or at least culpable. Every one of those people need to be prosecuted, sentenced, and sent to a real prison, not some low security spa resort like what's her name, the trafficking queen, is in right now. These victims that have come forward and the ones that didn't survive, I feel for them. There's so much pain and anger going on right now underneath my exterior. I am constantly ready to cry, scream, punch something. And I feel for them. We all need a certain amount of justice and just validation alone. I see you. I understand it. It it changes your whole life. When you've been groomed and assaulted as a young person and over time especially, it breaks you. Your soul and your heart is shattered into pieces that you can't even figure out how to put together. And you spend the rest of your life trying to put them together and trying to feel like a real person. Because ultimately, for myself anyway, there's parts of me at times where I don't know who I am because I have so much going on that my whole identity at times seems wrapped up in trauma response and being triggered by certain sounds, smells, certain looks, even. Okay? And with all of it coming up and out into the media, I've become that much more fragile. I mean, I consider myself a strong person. I've been through EMDR at least 4 times. I've been in and out of counseling since I was about 16. I am on medications. I'm on medications to help me sleep, without having night terrors about sexual abuse and rape. But this isn't something that's just going to go away, and I want people to wake up, snap out of it. These people are always capable of covering up, making things and people disappear. concocting convenient lies to make us think that it's not important. But it is. When I prosecuted them, magically all of my medical records from that time frame had disappeared. Now those medical records are from a military base. And I know just as much as a lot of other people out there, whether you're military personnel or you've been involved with them or are dependent of them, they keep everything, okay? And that was just a way for them to not have to deal with it and not have to deal with me and what happened to me. And as if the world wasn't complicated and enraging enough, because with all the shit that's going down with ICE, watching people like me, people of color, even though I don't look like it to most people, I am passing. And in that way, I guess I'm lucky. But I also find myself being more outspoken about who I am, where my family comes from, what my heritage is. And because it doesn't compute, okay? This isn't right on any level. None of these people deserve to be arrested as far as I'm concerned, unless you have hard physical evidence that they are some hardened, felonious criminal. That's not even who they're targeting. They're just picking up people that look a certain way, speak a certain way, or even if you're just observing or like I protest, they are picking up protesters saying that we're domestic terrorists for speaking out for human rights, okay? What they're doing is inhumane. These detention centers and then deporting people to countries they've never even set foot on or haven't been to since they were born is disgusting and despicable. This is eugenics. This is white supremacy at its worst, okay? Seriously, because you don't understand what's going on out there. There is sexual assault and rape happening in these detention centers and even in the process of detaining people. And to have children, so many children, in these large facilities with like inedible food, nothing to really cover up with when they go to sleep or to stay warm in general. They can't see their families. They're being ripped apart. Families are being completely destroyed over this shit. And it is shit. And that's not the only thing. The other things that are driving me crazy in this world is there are so many unspeakable, horrific crimes happening across the globe. And this idiot, this fucking rapist that we have in charge of our country representing us, thinks that he's playing some, I don't know, drunken version of Risk, and he's starting yet another type of genocide again in this country. And some of the moves he's making is supporting genocides in other countries. On no level is this political. This is a right and wrong situation. Okay? Good versus evil. I don't normally speak like that, but that motherfucker and people like him, they're fucking evil. And all they care about is their money and how they look or how they think they look. And you know that he's like broken, you know, he's this megalomaniac that's like dementia patient number 2. You know, I mean, he's just really losing it. Not like he had it well together in the first place, but he's really losing it. And all you have to do is pay him a compliment and all of a sudden you're back on his good side. But you say one criticizing piece of information against him or against what he's doing, and he threatens or even follows through with getting rid of you or ruining your career or, you know, just there's no level, there's no extent he won't go to if he feels like his ego or his pride has been stepped on. And I can't believe that I know people I love, people in my family, voted for that motherfucker. And what's worse is I've confronted them, some of them, the ones that mean the most to me, the ones that I truly respected and trusted. I literally asked, do you still support him? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, but why? With all that's come out, does that not fuck you up? Does that not make you think twice about who he is and what he stands for? And the fact that they didn't even really know what I was talking about said a lot to me. A lot of these people don't actually watch or read the news. They are fed information from their talking heads. There's no investigating happening, no personal investment in looking into anything. And so then I was like, okay, well, on that end, as far as like the pedophilia, look into it and then get back to me, okay? And then you tell me how you feel. And then I said, but why do you feel like he's a good president? Oh, he's done a lot of good for this country. I said, such as? And there was a pause, a long pause. But then the answer that I got was so insane that made no sense to me, made it that much worse. And because they were like, this whole ice storm that happened recently, that we're still dealing with, if he hadn't kept those coal mines going, people would have died freezing to death. What? What the fuck does that even mean? And I was like, okay, but when I asked him about the whole Epstein files, he's like, well, I don't know anything about that, and I haven't seen any truth about that, and they need to arrest him if that's the case, but I haven't seen any proof of that. And I was like, whoa, dude, that is like a fucking slap in the face to me. That is like the ultimate betrayal, because asking for proof when this shit is every fucking where, like he needs to see proof he wasn't there. That's like asking the victim what they were wearing. Were you drunk? These are kids, for fuck's sake. It's bad enough when we do it to grown women, but these are kids. Okay? Children. Innocent children. And I told them that was the ultimate betrayal for me personally, because they know what I went through. They know what I still go through, what I suffer with. And, and I told them that it was really hard for me to accept the fact that they voted for this motherfucker the first time. I even told them, I said, I warned you when he said that shit about grabbing women by the pussy, or that he just grabs them and kisses them. I said, that's a rapist. I warned them all. I said, that's who you want to represent us as a nation to the world? And then they voted for him again. But the fact that they still support him, and they think he's some great man, I don't know what to think. I have almost taken my life several times. Okay? And I have known people that have taken their lives over this kind of shit, over dealing with rape, and especially when it was childhood sexual abuse. And the shit shouldn't stand. It shouldn't happen on such a large scale. And this is a large scale, okay, people? Trafficking countless children, and over state lines and even out of the country, and nobody's done anything about it. Nobody knows anything about it, supposedly. And now that it's all out in the open, or almost all out in the open, and they're still not doing anything, Tell me that's not fucked up. I don't know what to do with it. I have kids that I am probably overprotective of. But if people understood, it's kind of like with the ICE thing. I don't understand this whole needing proof or I didn't see that. You know, it's like the people that don't see anything about what's going on in other parts of the country right now with ICE and with all these arrests and killings, murder. That's fucking assassination, okay? The people that just don't say anything, that's what's fucking killing me. That's what's making it so hard for me to wake up every day and keep going, because there's only so much that I can do. I protest. I call my congressman. I go to therapy. I take my meds. I interact with my family as much as I can and in the healthiest way I can. And I try to be positive and I try to be loving. But with all that's going on right now, I'm like so close to that abyss again. When every day you wake up and you're triggered, I don't know how much more I can take. Just please, really look at all the things that are happening. And if it speaks to you, if you see the pain, the wrong, then please do something. Sign a petition, go to a protest, call your representatives. And if you're a victim, please speak up. We all need to support one another. We all need to know that we're not alone. And that we know logically that time has passed. But anytime you see stuff like this, or you run into a scene in a movie or an episode of a TV show that has certain themes, that it all comes rushing back. And you're that hurt person that can't defend themselves. But please, speak out. Please remember to take care of yourselves. Remember to love the people you love and let them know you love them. And learn how to talk about these things. The more it's talked about, I hope the less that it will happen. And I think that's the biggest thing is please just speak up. Rise up. And take accountability for being here in this country. Because other people in other countries are going to see us as culpable. Which is exactly how I've felt for over a decade. Maybe longer. Anyway, I've been trying to do this for days. This is my 5th attempt. And hopefully this works out. I didn't want to script anything. I didn't want to have to edit. I just wanted to make sure that I'm heard. Even if it's only by 3 people. But please, speak up. Thanks. And remember, you're loved. You're loved. We're supposed to protect and love one another. As humans. Doesn't matter what color you are. Doesn't matter where you come from. What language you speak. Who you're interested in. Who you're not interested in. That doesn't matter. love thy neighbor type of thing. That's the biggest thing, is don't hurt anybody. It doesn't matter what religion you are or what affiliation you prescribe to as far as political or even religious. Just don't hurt people. And get what you can. And protect when you can. Thanks.